We're in the middle of March, and can you believe it is actually 72 degrees out here today? That's crazy. But that means in my greenhouse, everything is kind of like starting to go to flower, which is absolutely weird for this time of year. But yet here we are. So that means we're going to have to do something about these flowering plants, which I am trying to figure out what to do with it. Also, I have to plant some carrots, plant some brassica seedlings. Also, remember there was an experiment that I did with the heating of the water jugs inside of this greenhouse to maintain some heat. Well, they all developed some serious algae, so we're gonna have to do something with that. So come with me as I figure out and clean up this entire greenhouse and get ready for the early springtime that we're gonna have. Let's go. What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a much needed form of mental health therapy, sobriety, and also learning how to navigate this crazy ass world with ADHD. And look at that, I got flowering bok choy. And you know what? My stomach hurts. I'm pregnant. I got cankles. All right, so I'm supposed to be sitting down. So why not take a little opportunity for some sitting down moments and stare at some plants, because my ankles are swollen as heck. As soon as I got into the greenhouse, I realized quickly that this is just kind of like taking over itself. I mean, it's doing actually pretty good, despite the fact that I haven't been watching over it or paying attention, because I'm trying to split my life now with nursing and also this, gardening, and also being pregnant. So hey, you know, I'm working on it, working on finding a balance in between. But now here we are in the garden, and I gotta do some work. I got chickweed, the weed everywhere in my garden. I don't know how they got here, but boy, let me tell you, not self-seeding, but seeding through wind and all that. Man, chickweed is everywhere in my garden. Don't forget your gloves. All right, we're gonna be doing a little weeding first of all, just to get rid of all of this chickweed that's just overgrown in this entire garden. I gotta make way for a bunch of other stuff. Look at that lonely little carrot over there, overgrown by chickweed. Now they do say that chickweed is edible. However, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give it to my chickens. I'm sure they'll enjoy this. Make sure you grab it by the roots, because if you are not grabbing it by the roots, then it's just gonna keep on growing. Look at the root system on this. Make sure as much as as much of the root system as you can. It will still grow back, depending obviously on how much chickweed is in your garden already, and if it has flowered, like those flowers right over there, as you can see, little flowers. But hopefully we can reduce the amount of chickweed. Now, if you are ballsy and you want to try to eat this, then go for it. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not that bold enough. I'm trying to get this section of the compost pile ready to go. Notice there's a bunch of stems from last year that have not been composted, not nearly at all. So I have all this chickweed that I took. Out of the garden and just kind of threw it there. Hopefully the chickens will do their thing. That's my glove. Hey guys, gals. Here goes Jerry. Hey Jerry. In this greenhouse, there's a lot of plants that are going to flower. Not all of them are flowering, some are, but there are a lot of them are preparing for flowering, which is not exactly what I wanted to see this early in the season. Okay, one, it's very, very warm. Two, I don't have any bees. So how in the world am I going to be collecting all of these seeds if there's no bees to pollinate? So we're going to be pollinating ourselves, but also we're going to be doing a little little tricks and hacks that we can kind of like do to our plants in order to continue the growing season without letting our plants go to seed. Even though, some of them have gone pretty far, but we can see what we're going to be doing with that. Being that we do have some flowers here, we're going to try to self-pollinate, so I'm not going to be cutting that one. However, the ones that are still relatively small that have not opened up like this, we're going to try to cut that. All right, yeah, we totally did. Notice how thick the stems are. So again, we don't know about the bitterness because we would have to try the actual leafy greens that it was meant to taste. Let's try it out. There, this is tatsoi. It's not exactly the cousin of spinach. They call it the cousin of spinach, but it's more on the bok choy brassica family kind of. So let's see if it's bitter. Not bad. Not bad. I thought it would be worse. Not bad at all. I think we can salvage this. Super small, didn't even happen. Chop that. Chop that. I'm just going around and collecting a lot of the stem leaves that I did cut off. A lot of them have leaves on there, so I could still be actually eating some of them. Here goes another one right here. Collect that one. There are some leaves. I can actually cook with this for dinner time, whatever else. Now, if there is some that are just really too far out there, like this one, I'm actually going to cut this one super, super low. You can see here, this one, real low. But I'm still going to harvest a lot of these leaves to eat. Cutting them this far down will actually give your plant a new boost all over again. So we can just kind of, it's almost like an early cut and come again, okay? We're cutting them real low. We're going to harvest the leaves. We're going to cook with them and then just see if the plant bounce back. It's about to be springtime, but the point is that we're getting a lot of sun, and that is capturing a lot of heat. So it may not be the best for the wintertime, but it's definitely great for the early, springtime, late winter, when you're getting a lot of sun. But a lot of the water has been developing algae. Did you know that algae is actually good? Well, algae water is actually good for your plants. So we're going to be giving that water right back into the garden, because guess what? Where am I going to dump all this water? Right in the garden. Algae is actually good for your plants. You know what I mean? It's actually a great source of like nutrition and, nutrient benefits for it. So why not just dump all this water inside my greenhouse? Let the cycle continue. Because again, what am I going to do with all this water? And also, hey, why not put it back into the earth? It's not contaminated with anything except for just algae, which is still good for the plants. So what do I have here? I have gloves, because remember, we are preventing toxoplasmosis. I'm not saying that I have cats in my backyard, but we do want to take precaution. All right, see how far I chopped that plant down? It's going to start right from the beginning. It's almost like a cut and come again. See, did that over here too. Just cut a little bit of it. Bam, right over there. I could always harvest those leaves if I wanted to, but I'm just going to wait a little bit. Okay, now that I got rid of all the chickweed in my garden, now I have these pails of water that I had from the wintertime. One over there, one over here, and that big ass jug, that big ass 55-gallon barrel right over there. What I have here is a lot of algae. Now you do get algae. Algae starts to develop once the water has been exposed to sunlight. It is, it just is what it is. You will get you will get algae growing if any water is open to the sunlight. That's why in hydroponics, we always try to keep the sun out of our jugs, out of our containers, to prevent the algae formation. However, I see the craziest thing inside of this water. I saw a bunch of swimmers in here. Like the weirdest thing. Of course, I don't see them now. Oh, I don't see them now. There was a bunch of crazy looking swimming things inside of the water. Oh, you see them? Oh, I don't know if you see them. They're crazy little swimming thingies. Okay, for the cabbages, these seedlings are relatively small, but they are strong enough to withstand the dark, the colder weather out here. Considering it has been ridiculously warm out here, they can stand to go outside. Now, these are going to be too small still for this spring crop, but that's okay, because for the fall time, they will give me something. However, as you see, this one right here, this cabbage, will definitely give me something this year, because it has had a definite head start from last year. I planted this cabbage just like this size last year in the fall time, and here we are. So this one is going to definitely give me something for springtime, maybe in the late spring, but this one is going to be for the early fall. So this one has a lot of growing up to do. It's going to take all of spring and all of summer to grow. Remember when I did a video on the passing of the opportunity window for a lot of these plants? But it's all good, because you still have another chance in another season, especially with brassicas. So these, I'm just going to plant right here. I have had some compost already laid out earlier that I'm just kind of, I don't really need to add anymore. So I'm just going to throw these cabbages inside of the ground and then wait for them to grow up. As they grow up, I will just transfer them out of here into a different space. Oh boy, it is ridiculously hot in here, but I have managed to make some progress. Planted some cabbage, pulled some chickweeds. The only thing really I have to do is actually plant some carrots, which, being that I pulled all this chickweeds out of this area, this will be for the carrots. I'm not necessarily going to do it right now, but I did a video on how to plant some carrot seeds and all that stuff, so I'll link it down in the description below and right here on that card, so you can go check that out. This is going to be the carrot, the carrot section. but I am really pleased about my catnip. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information out of it. Let me know, do you have a greenhouse? Do you have a cold flame? I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information. I know we were scattered a little bit around, but you know what? We wanted to change it up. We wanted to hit a few different topics within the same video. And let me know down in the comments below. Do you have a greenhouse? Do you have a cold frame? Is this happening to you where some of your plants are actually flowering way too early? I've never seen this before. However, considering there has been some garden zone changes this past year, I guess I should not be surprised a little bit. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. And also, you know what? Until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be gardening All right, until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be gardening our happy... All right, until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be gardening our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. God bless you all. Until the next episode, peace and love.